My body knew my marriage was over before my brain did. I mean, I was sitting in a parked vehicle with a close family friend who said she had something important to tell me. She started saying some words and I didn't even remember comprehending them. I just remember my hands going numb. I remember literally the physical signs of shock setting in. Basically found out in a monogamous relationship, found out my wife was unfaithful, and everything changed in an instant. I mean, what is it like to find out that your spouse is unfaithful? You know, I know in this day and age, yeah, there could be polyamory or some other arrangements, but if you're talking about a traditional sort of, no, you swore vows before God and nobody was going to come between you. It was just going to be you and her, or you and him if you're a female watching this, or, you know, I don't care about your gender and your preferences. That makes no fucking difference to me or this message. But when you find out that an agreement that you had, a trust that you felt you could count on, like, for the rest of your life, when you find out that that's shattered, you know, this is fucked, because it's over a decade now and there's still something a little bit broken in me. You know, I'm still working on things. You know, it's not a straight line up, you know, to success, to recovering. You know, maybe for some people it is. For me, it's not. For you, maybe it's not either. And if that's the case, keep listening. I had what I thought was my life really put together, you know, but I mean, I'm not going to go into that sort of detail. The point is, I found out it was something that just shattered the foundation of my belief system, of who I thought I was, what I thought I could count on. And the person in my corner who I thought I could trust the most, I found out I couldn't. And my identity was built upon that level of trust with somebody that you sleep beside, that, you know, anyways, it had a lot of negative effects. You know, I've talked to other people in the past and I said, you know, it's kind of like a grenade that lands in front of you and kaboom, it goes off. And all of a sudden there's immediate damage. You know right away you're suffering. But then there's also maybe some shrapnel wounds or some PTSD or mental shit that's going to stick around for years. Wounds you don't even know exist yet. You know, if that's you out there right now and you're going through this and you don't even know how to process it, you don't even know how to explain, like, what the hell you're feeling and how to put it into words, or let alone how to create a plan to get over it. You know, I've been there. And it took me years. Not only did it take me years, I made some of the worst decisions that caused me to lose my investment portfolio, my home, and a bunch of crap. Again, not about me. I lost pretty much everything. I still have my son. I got a family that loves me. I'm very blessed. And I mean, maybe that's a part of it. You know, as terrible as things are, you know, when you think life is just the most awful it can be, I remember reading, you know what, take the focus off yourself. You know, what can you do to volunteer or to help someone else? But you know what, if you just found out and you're in the raw stages of it, how the hell do you think of something like that? You can't. For me, I went from a strong guy, martial artist, working security, having people fight, throwing them out, having them swing on me, I'm imposing my will on them. Strong guy. Boom. I was on the basement floor, fetal position, bawling like a baby. And I'm not proud to say that, you know. I promised myself I would post one video every day, or at least one video anyways, for 365 days. We're getting on the 45-day mark, maybe close to 50 days now. Now I want to get into some real meat and potatoes, like the shit that really brought me down. You know, what it's like to find out that the life you thought you knew doesn't exist. And if the life you thought you knew doesn't exist, then who the hell are you? You know, that takes time to figure that out. You know, it takes time to figure that out, because you build a life with somebody. Anyways, what I had, my foundation fell apart. And I'm guessing if you found this video, your foundation fell apart too. And if it was because of infidelity, you know what, brother? My heart goes out to you, because I found myself in some of the darkest places I think a human being can get. and still walk out alive, because I almost didn't. That's not the purpose of this video. But one thing I realized, I went from a really strong martial artist, throwing guys out and thinking that people that had thoughts of unending themselves, I thought there was like a mental defect or something. Like I lacked empathy, compassion. And I came to appreciate the fact that what my wife did for me in the choices that she made, she caused me to go through some experiences that broadened a lot of parts of me, caused me to contemplate things never thought I could. But at the same time, as dark and shitty as things got, at the place where I'm at right now, I can empathize with you if you're in the darkest place, considering the darkest things. And if that's you right now, I just want to tell you something, like as a side note, stop, don't do anything dumb. Give yourself 24 hours. The reasoning I used was take 24 hours to come up with a better plan to get better revenge. As stupid as that sounds. But you know what? It prevented me from doing something really dumb in the moment. And then, you know what the trick is? Give yourself another 24 hours. And then the trick to that is give yourself another 24 hours and another and another and another until common sense prevails, until you realize that that's not what you're here for, And you know what, if you can't resonate with that part of the video, I apologize. Thank you for sticking with us. The point is, finding out that your partner cheats on you is frankly one of the worst things I've ever gone through in my life. And I'm still here. I went through many phases of rebuilding. Part of the, confusing part to me, I still don't have it figured out. I mean, again, I'm rebuilding publicly. I don't have all the answers. I'm just working through all the shit that I discovered in the past and I'm not trying anything. I am putting it to work. I'm going to report back to you if you subscribe and or see these videos. And I'm going to let you know what I figure out. But, yeah, I'm putting these things in action because you can't be the person that stays down, Like I was at a point where I was down for so long, it was ridiculous. And if you find yourself at a place where you find almost no hope, maybe like me, staying in bed all day, your only action is to get up so that you don't pee the bed. You get up, use the bathroom, grab a 6-pack of beer, go back to bed. Like, I know what it's like to be in that position, and it sucks. It really sucks. For me, it caused a lot of negative consequences, and in the meantime, festering fantasies of revenge and how life isn't fair. And like I talked in an earlier video about a quote from a samurai, our sense of revenge is as exact as our mathematical faculties, and until both sides of the equation are met, one is left with a sense of things undone. Like, for human beings, it's natural to want justice. If somebody effed you over in something, a business partner, a spouse, whoever, you've got this thing nagging, gnawing, clawing at your brain thinking, this isn't right, I can't get over it until it's done. That's why people obsess over things like apologies and bullshit like that. Really you're not guilty if you can't forgive. It's part of our human nature. Forgive yourself for having that part of you. But you also have to realize that, chances are you'll be alive tomorrow, and why not have a brighter day? Follow this channel and learn lessons like make a promise, keep it. Learn lessons like never miss two, meaning when you make that promise and then you break it, because let's face it, we all do. You just don't fall back into old ways and allow one miss at the gym, one miss drinking your water, one miss getting up a little earlier to have a small routine that's for you and no one else. Don't let that one miss become two misses. That's a small principle that we can build on. The important thing is that you get plugged in. Watch some of these videos, start taking notes, start making a gratitude journal. Because to get back on point, and sorry I ramble, I recognize that. To get back on point, if you found yourself in a place where you were just wrecked when you had your effing teeth kicked in, you got a choice. Do you stay down or do you struggle? Fuck, I could get emotional again. You can't give up. not what I want. I gotta learn to edit. Seriously, you can't give up. Because what's life for if you do? I mean, you're given this opportunity to pass on lessons that you've learned to other people. And let's face it, I mean, you're owed that. I mean, if you've got breath in your lungs, you can struggle against gravity, get up in the morning and make a better day for yourself. You can make a promise and keep it. And then you can start adapting principles. I know I'm repetitive, but so what? Sometimes you got to hear something more than once to let it sink into your head. You know, you don't miss twice. You set time for yourself. You have moments to contemplate. You know, you don't. I don't know. I'm starting to ramble. I'm gonna end it there. But you know what? Thank you for this, for joining me with this, because I wanted to talk about this idea. And frankly, I don't think I've fleshed it out enough, because finding out that you've been betrayed is the worst thing I ever went through, and I'm still here. I'm still struggling. I've made so many times. I made plans, did preparations. Oh, I'm gonna get up in the morning. I got this next 7 days, this next 14 days, 30-day plan, 90-day plan. I'm gonna be so much of a better plan. I'm gonna be so much of a better man. I'm gonna, you know, best revenge is massive success. And I'm gonna take the actions to create success, only to just fail and fail and fail over again. Well, I made a promise to post once a day on this channel, and that's me saying, I'm not going to let the success, the momentum that I'm building right now, I'm not going to let that falter. And when I do, well, I've shared some of my falters already. But you know what? If you join me on this journey, you'll glean something from it. You'll get something out of it. You know, I would love to hear in the comments what you're struggling with particularly. I mean, and again, I'm not your guru. I don't have all the answers. I'm just a guy. I thought I had the answers at one point in my life, and man, I hit the pavement hard. You know, but I'm opening myself up to the universe. I'm opening up myself to people, and I know I've already got a couple of weird comments, but you know what? Thank you. Even the quail's commenting right now. Regardless, thank you for joining me on this journey. If you got something out of it, subscribe and stick with us. We are rebuilding.